Hi Facebook, I'm Ellie Frost, and this video is about why positioning yourself as that next level leader or next level brand is never actually going to be enough, right? So today I'm going to be good, because even though I would say to everyone, share all your posts in all your groups and all your things, I don't always do it, right? But I like to break rules a lot, as we know. So I'm just going to share so that I've done it. Otherwise I don't, which is not what I recommend to anyone. I do sometimes, most of the time. Okay. Make it happen. My group is called, my free group is called Make It Happen. So if any of you know me, you know that I'm the queen of positioning. That's one of my best skills, in that I can really tap into who you are and really find ways to help you define and understand your highest vision, and then communicate that at a very, very elevated level, right? That's what I'm really good at. I can take you, understand you, get where you are now, get where you want to be, and put language and vision and ideas around products and services and what that could look like. So positioning is really important, right? So why have I said that it's not going to be enough? Because, right, even with the best positioning and strategy and website and outward looking stuff that could be fantastic and completely aligned with who you are and what you're meant to do and what your soul wants to do, it's never enough on its own. You've got to embody that person, and that's why people don't get that. What I mean by embody is, right, you've got to, even with I'm talking to the myself. Best positioning and website and see, it wasn't. So what I mean by that is, you've got to take action from and think like that version of you, right? Which is difficult for people, because they're saying, well, but I've got my current challenges, right? So, well, that person's got all the money and they've got all the success and all the network and But I'm like, well, that person that knows that they've got all those things available to them, how would they be looking at your situation now? Now, there's a thing in energy, because I do a lot of energy work with people, you know, I work with energetic principles. So there's a thing called pendulums, right? And pendulums, I was explaining to someone this morning, pendulums are kind of like these exchanges of energy between people that keep them in the same place. So what you'll have is like these different, what they call energetic pendulums, which are keeping you and the people around you and your results and your business where it is, right? And there's kind of a swing, like a push-pull between this energetic field. Now, when you want to go to the next level, you have to take radically different action. It's not like slightly different. You've got to disrupt that energetic field, that pendulum, that swing, that kind of situation, that relationship with you and your results, you and your business, you and your relationships, you and your network, right? So you don't get there from doing, people think, oh, I've done something different. You've got to take radically different action, you see. That person that is like, say you want to like jump your income by 100%, or make your year's salary your month's salary, or whatever it is you've got in your mind, or impact a ton more people, right? That person doesn't probably make any of the same decisions as you, because all your decisions, all your thinking, all your mindset is why you are where you are, right? And so people always think, well, when I get there, that's when I'll do that thing. And what I know is it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that you can incrementally grow, but you've got to make these shifts in yourself, right? Especially when you're doing big leaps. I know where people who want to really fucking expand, you know, you really want to expand your impact, you really want to go to that next level, it's a real next level. Then it's radical action, it's radically different thinking, it's rewiring the whole thing, because what we know for sure, and it's crazy to think otherwise, is how I'm thinking sort of emotionally being, and how I'm taking action is giving me the results in my life that I have now. That's logic, right? That's not even me being energetically kind of, you know, on that side of things. So that just makes sense. So if I want a radically different result, I've got to take some radically different disruptive action. And that's what it is. It's radically different action. And that action is definitely going to feel unfamiliar. So when people get like a bit wobbly and in fear, I was talking about this today as well, like, you know, like excitement and fear are kind of linked, because they're the same thing, but just interpreted differently by our brain. But, you know, the good news is you can radically disrupt your reality when you're taking unfamiliar action, and your brain loves what's familiar and hates what's unfamiliar. So your brain's always going to question that and go, ooh, because your brain is wired on the past and to like what's familiar. So the good news is, well, there's two things. If you're taking action, but it doesn't feel unfamiliar and a bit weird to start with, and you're trying to go to the next level, then you're probably not doing it. And if you're if you're experiencing these kind of unfamiliarity, that's often a good sign. But what the key is to go into it. So find people who've got what you've got. Find people who think in the way that you need to think, with those results, with whatever it is you're trying to create in your life. But know that you've got to be that person first. It's not when you get the success or the followers, then you be it, or the money or the resources or the time, which is what everyone seems to still think. I mean, to me, that's a crazy idea. When I get the money, when I get the time, when this happens, when this event totally outside of me occurs, then I'll give myself permission to be that person. And that never, like, I've worked with tons of celebrities, personalities, leaders, big corporates, like, it doesn't work that way. What happens is you energetically become it, you embody it, you decide you're that person, you fix your beliefs, you fix your mindset, you start adopting the behaviors, the action, the energy of that next level person, right? And you have to let that person you were before go. Those old patterns, those old beliefs, you radically disrupt them, you break those cycles, you stop that energy exchange if you want, to position yourself in a much, much bigger way. So the positioning itself is the kind of signal to the world, and what you work towards on the brand positioning, your next level leadership is your kind of communication, right? Your kind of signal that that's who you now are, right? And your job is to become it now, immediately, to get it, not wait till the things you think have to happen in order for you to be it. And that's what everyone's confused about. When I get more followers, when I get more, no, you have to embody it now. You act as if you are that person with the amount of followers that you want now. You act as if you have that money now. Now, I'm not saying you can buy all the things you want, but you'd make very different decisions. You make very different decisions from the place of, well, I am serious. See, when you embody that next level, you get certain, and certainty is such a powerful energy, right? It's a decision, and when you've made a decision, there's, that's how it's going to be. You only wobble and dance with fear and bullshit when you haven't made a fucking decision. So decide. You've got to decide. You've got to say, I'm available for this and only this. This is my next level. I'm definitely going here. That's what it looks like for me to embody that. My leadership at the next level is this. Get really crystal clear. What do you do with your day? Who do you hang around with? Who are your friends? What do you do in your spare time? That's now me, right? You get very convicted because that's what you need behind you. And then you stop doing the things that don't align with that as best you can. Of course, we all have reality that we're dealing with now. So there's things that, you might not be able to, you've got to manage. But at the same time, the decisions you'd make about investments, the decisions you'd make about friends, the decisions you'd make about what you do with your time would be different from that next level. So what I take my clients through and been doing a lot of work on recently is like literally stripping away what they're doing, because a lot of them are still managing a lot of things, or they were still operationally very involved. So, and I have been, honestly, like I'm doing mine at the same time as I'm teaching everyone else, which is but it's always the way of expansion. So anyway, the point is this. You then you have to become that person now. So if that person at the next level, like, one of my clients, she just wants to be a speaker and a presenter most of the time now, right? And she's been very actively involved, but she still wants to have many business ventures, right? And she wants to really be the visionary in that role rather than anything else. So we're making her do that now. She's having to have the business meetings where she's doing that now. Everyone does, so that's the same story for everyone. You have to do it now. You don't wait until you think something else outside of you is going to happen before you do it. That's the biggest misconception. That thing's never going to happen, right? It happens when you become and embody and are only available, singularly available for that kind of thing. And I've had to do the same in my business, to be honest, because last year I got in my head a bit and I started doing things that were not the things that I have to do at my next level, right? So now I've had to be really strict and go, no, I'm only available for those things, nothing else. So those other things have to get taken care of somehow else. And I'm not going to start whinging. You know, people often are going to use the excuse of time, money, reason, whatever. If you're thinking from a decision, from you've decided that's all you're available for, right, you will find those things and you will make sure you do. And it's your mission to, and it's your job to. But what you don't back down on is who you are and what you stand for and what you're available for, because you cannot transition. It doesn't matter how fancy your positioning is or how good your strategy is. You can't transition otherwise. So this mindset work, this personal development work, this decision work, this, my dogs are barking, this holding your energy work is so important. So that's why you can't, branding strategy and all that stuff is not enough. You've got to integrate the coaching with it. You have to have someone who can take you through in that way as well, because the person you are, if you want to go to a next level, the person you are is different to the person you are now. And that's another thing, right? So people say, well, I used to say that, I don't like doing public speaking. I've done quite a lot of it now, but, you know, I don't like it. Well, then I had to say, well, that leader at the next level, me, right? What does she like? Oh, she fucking loves doing that shit, right? So if I really want to become her, and it is soul aligned, right? It's in my heart and soul to do, then of course I love doing it. It's like if you want to get fit, right? If you want to be fit, then you've got to, you can't go saying, oh, I don't like exercising. If you're really going to embody that next level you, then they're going to be the things you love. And what you'll find is they start being the things you love once you make a decision, a strong enough decision. That is a very energetic thing. And you really embody that person, because you literally switch your identity. And the identity shift stuff's really important. I've got like a free little mini course on my website on that, actually. It's elliefrost.biz if you want to look at that. But that's why I wanted to share, because that's really what I think I do most on. Like the brand stuff is pretty easy for me. Like, you know, in terms of like positioning you, getting your strategy together, developing products and services takes more time. But this embodying bit is a bit people skip. They just think, oh yeah, that's who I am now. And they don't do enough work on themselves, you see, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to come up for you. There's a lot of fear that's going to come up for you when you transition. There's a lot of there's a reason why you're not at your next level, basically. And it's not just because all those things outside of you didn't happen, those people didn't see you, and it was just going to incrementally grow. It's also because you haven't embodied it fully in yourself, in your being, in your energy field, in who you need to be. And that's the piece people underestimate. They think it's all about their next website. It's not. Although that's a great way to communicate it, but it's going to be who you are that's going to make the difference. You know, you could have none of that stuff. I've worked with people who've had none of that stuff. No websites, no social, like nothing. And I mean, when I started my business, right, I got it to 6 figures in the first year, no website. I didn't even want a website. I wanted to be really exclusive. I mean, that sounds stupid for a strategist, but I always am playing with rules. I'm always playing and stretching parameters. And I'm always staying aligned with who I am, right? So you'd think, well, if you look at my if you think it's branding, you just say, well, it's really inconsistent, right? But that's because I'm always playing with things, and I want to be the fullest expression of me, whereas I've created some very, very consistent brands. So it just depends on who it is. I'm always going to be, you know, doing things my own way, and that's what I like, you know. And I encourage all of you to do things your own way, because there are no real rules. There are no real rules. There is things that, you know, that make sense strategically, like, you know, customers or people you do need to be recognisable. They've got to recognise similar elements about you. So your brand should have similar elements about it so they can recognise you. But you want to be surprising and delighting them. You want to be dynamic. And it's okay when you go through transitions, which I do all the time because I'm always expanding, to look different and to be playing with things and be doing it outwardly while you're forming that. As long as you keep the core values the same, it's okay. So for example, so what I mean by that is I would never compromise what I stand for and what I'm here for. My overall vision, mission, my messaging, always the same thing, always the same thing. You can always rely on me for that. And the way that I'll interact and the promises I make, I suppose, to my customers and stuff, they never vary. The look and feel does, and how I deliver it does, and you know, and you know, you can play with that, so that's okay. You don't want to keep playing with it, but you want to know what's really important. The really important thing is what I call what you promise your audience or your customers, right? So it's what you're always there for, and I'm always there for breaking the rules. No formality. You know, I don't want the formality on my particular stuff I do, because I enjoy that. The values I have, the main mission that I talk about, following your heart, you know, monetizing who you are, being the fullest expression of self, that never ever changes. But other things can. And that, you know, people get so caught up on their logo, they forget what's really important. It's what you're promising your customers. You know, your customers don't really care about your logo too much. They care about what you're promising them. See, what I'm always talking about is you can monetize who you are, you can live your best life, you can have what you want, build a business around your fullest expression of self, using your personal brand and developing products and services that are a true expression of you. That never ever changes. I'm always promising that. And that's the most important thing. Actually, what colours I use on a particular day isn't as important, and people miss the point. If you're investing in the wrong things, I'm not saying those things aren't important. It's lovely to have something fancy pants, but at the same time, get the core. What you promise your customers on a day-to-day, or audience on a day-to-day basis, is the core. And you must be consistent with that, right? Because that's the key thing. You're making a promise every time you put something out there, or a vision, right? As a visionary. So, you know, I'm asking people to join in my vision, basically. That's what I'm really selling, that vision, right? That vision I have is the vision I have for you. And like, you can unite with that. And that's why you buy into me, because I'm selling you that vision fundamentally. I'm selling you that opportunity, that possibility through the work I do, through various products, services, different things. So that is my message for today. Hi, Ella Filmer. It is nice to see you. I can't see any comments, man. Why? View live viewers. You know, it's not giving me any comments, so I'm sorry if you said anything. I can't hear you, which is a shame. That is my message. Have a fabulous day.